Good morning, YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you how to install a fan on a custom Raspberry Pi kit here. This is a Canna kit. It came with the motherboard, of course, the case, two heat sinks that go onto the motherboard, a power card, and an SD card. I've also ordered a little fan kit here. It comes with 4 fans and the screws and bolts that are necessary to install from Amazon. Now, these screws are too long, and if you are just trying to figure out how this all fits together, well, it doesn't without a little bit of hack and whack. So, this being our center console, you will see that there are 4 holes that are now drilled into here, and I have used a very small drill bit to accomplish this. Because the bolts are too long, even once these holes are drilled, of course this is the drill bit that I used, very small, we have to cut down those bolts. Now, the best way that I have found to go ahead and do it, you can use a hacksaw or whatever tools you might have, but I just have a pair of simple wire cutter pliers here that I use to cut down the bolts. As I can see, the way that I have done this is I noticed that the bolts are about halfway too long. And if we look here, we will find the bolt that I have cut in half, and that would be this one here. So once you cut these bolts in half, your fan at that point will then fit into the case, and we'll have some success. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this and finish cutting my bolts, and I will be back to you shortly. The fans, as you can see, they're very tiny, and by the way, I did get these off of Amazon.com. They're Easy Cargo Raspberry Pi 2, 3, 3B Plus fans. They come in a 4-pack. If you want, they're $7.99. So rather cheap. I have done this because when I'm watching 1080p videos on my Raspberry Pi through Kodi, I notice that the machine starts to overheat and I get some buffering and lag at times. Because of this, I've even had the machine shut down because of overheating. I have even adjusted the threshold in the Raspberry Pi settings to try to eliminate this, but without installing this fan, I think that I'd still run into the same problems, continue to run into the same problems. So here we go. I'm going to finish installing this fan, and like I said, I'll be back momentarily. There are 2 primary pins that you're going to want to connect to whenever you are connecting your fan, and they have to be the 2nd pin and 3rd pin. The 1st pin is live, the 3rd pin is ground. I think there are 4 and 6 being, or 2 and 6, 4 and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we want to use 4 and 6, I believe, in order to power the fan. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay, so here's the fan installed. I've decided on my next go around to tweak my configuration just a little bit, but the fan is installed, seems to be installed properly. Probably going to get a little bit better cooling if I go ahead and redesign this just a little bit and cut here a bit, and here, shave it off a bit. That'll give me more room for cooling from the fan, but I do have it installed at this point in time. And let's see how this goes once I put it all back together, and I'll be back with you. Now we have a full fan hookup. We should now avoid getting a little temperature gauge in the top right hand corner of the screen when watching our 1080p movies. So there you have it, how to hook up a fan in a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.